I'm at Avery, and today I'm on the move in Southwest Florida, revealing the location of the world's most valuable Camaro since it left the Mecum auction block. Join me as I travel the country, uncovering history, the cars, and the roads worth taking. I hit the biggest events and museums, dig into legendary collections, and always take the scenic route, because every mile has a story. In January of 2026, the eyes of the automotive world were locked into what was playing out at Mecum Kissimmee, where the 1969 Yenko Camaro Prototype sold for $1,815,000, a new world record, and securing that vehicle's place as the most valuable Camaro sold to date. And today, I'm here to see where it went and to meet the very passionate owner who acquired it.
Come in. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ryan. What's up, man?
Nothing much. Long time no see. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. This place is super cool.
Welcome to Dudley's Garage.
Already, I'm seeing a lot of stuff I like, Ryan, but I'm drawn right away to this hot rod circus. What's the story?
So this is a 1930 Ford Model A, chopped, and it currently has a small block Chevy engine in it. The way the story goes, a number of years ago, they had this car at a car show in Sweden. At that car show, Richard Rawlings of Gas Monkey Garage saw it, bought it, brought it back to his shop in Texas. They take it to a lot of the local shows. Kids love it. It's just a really unique vehicle, and there's nothing else like it on the road.
Ryan, you've got a bunch of other great cars. Can we go take a look at some other highlights?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me show you one of the former celebrity-owned cars in the collection. So Matt, this right here is the Nick Cage Cuda. This is a 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. It was formerly owned by the actor Nicolas Cage, but it's affectionately called the Nick Cage Cuda in the Mopar world.
Triple black Cuda, I think that's the holy grail for a lot of Mopar enthusiasts.
It is. It's got its original drivetrain. It's 4-speed, and it's a super track pack car. And triple black is royalty in the Mopar world just due to its rarity.
Something a lot more exotic, Ryan, is this blue Lamborghini. I'm curious, what's the story here?
It sticks out in a sea of American muscle cars, doesn't it? So Matt, this is a 2007 Lamborghini Murcielago LP640. I've owned this car for approximately 12 years. I believe it now to be the lowest mileage LP640 gated manual in the world. And again, what makes it so special, that gated manual transmission there.
With all the electronics, Ryan, it's funny, enthusiasts want that connection to the road, don't they?
And you know, who would have thought going back to the early 2000s when the e-gear was so popular, they only made about 23 of these in 2007, and that's what's just driven the demand for this through the roof. And Matt, I'm gonna walk you over here to what I consider to be the most special car in the garage, and this is a 69 Shelby GT500 convertible.
So a GT500, Ryan, I love it. I loved all the scoops on these, but you indicate this one's a little bit extra special. Why is that?
It's extra special because Carroll Shelby owned this car for a total of 39 years, from 1969 up until the time he sold it in 2008. He nicknamed this car Old Shell. And this car has a very rich history just through the time of Shelby's ownership of the car. It started life, believe it or not, as a triple white car, and he is the one who painted it candy apple red. But just a lot of little unique features about the car that he did to it over his ownership. One, when he had arthritis, he could no longer utilize the hood pins, so they disabled him and just capped him off up there. Another story with the car, Shelby actually rebuilt this engine, and when he rebuilt the engine, he changed the block from Ford blue to a bright red. Cobra Le Mans valve covers, chrome air cleaner, those are just some of the other appointments that he made to the car.
And it's astounding how they shoehorned that engine in, Ryan. There's no extra space in here, is there?
No, there is not. It's funny to me that, you know, of all the cars that Carroll Shelby was involved with, he owned, as one of the longest cars, a convertible with an automatic transmission.
It's cool, Ryan, but I gotta be honest, I came here to see a particular Camaro, and I'm not seeing it anywhere in your garage.
We're gonna have to travel to my back garage. When you walk through those doors, I told you this was the B team. I love Ford Mopars, but the A team, the Camaro garage, is in the back.
Camaro garage?
We got a Camaro garage.
We have to check that out.
Well, Matt, welcome to what I call the A-team of Dudley's Garage.
I'm liking already some things I'm seeing on the walls here. I love the idea of blowing up the magazine covers that really spotlight the story of these Copos. That's a really cool addition.
Yeah, I love these magazine covers, Matt, and as you'll notice here in just a minute, several of these cars that are featured in these magazine covers are actually in my garage.
Super cool. But I gotta ask, Ryan, who was Dudley?
So Dudley was my 11-year-old Basset Hound. Dudley passed away last year. Dudley worked with me every day. He hung out here at the shop. He rode in the cars. He loved this place.
Now we're talking. Oh man, that was one lucky dog.
Yes, he was.
This is overwhelming, but overwhelmingly cool. And there's so much to see in here, Ryan, right away. Immediately see the Gold Yenko. I'm just so thrilled it's come here to this world-class collection you've assembled. But I also see you've got where Camaro Performance started. Can we take a look?
Absolutely, let's take a look.
The iconic Little Hoss in all of its glory.
Yes, sir. So this is a 1967 Z28, affectionately named Little Hoss, by Fred Gibb of Fred Gibb Chevrolet.
And really, Ryan, one of the first efforts to get performance out of the Camaro model, and Fred Gibb went on to do some incredible stuff, including getting that run of ZL1s.
Ironic that you say ZL1, because we got one of those in the garage. Let me show you.
And speaking of those Camaro legends, Ryan, you've got them all. You've got all 6 generations represented, and then you've got all the major powerhouses. You've got GM&G, you've got Copo, you've got double Copo, you've got the Z28, and of course Yenko. This is really comprehensive. I can tell it's been years in the making.
Matt, it has taken years to get to this point, and we still got a little ways to go.
And when it comes to the echelon of Camaro Performance, Ryan, at the top, as you know, is this ZL1. And Chevy Thunder is such an appropriate name for this car, because I know when these were on the track, they definitely made some noise.
They certainly did. And Matt, I'll tell you, this particular car here was actually one of the winningest of all the ZL1 Camaros. You're looking at a 69 ZL1 Camaro. This is car number 65, one of 69 cars that Chevrolet made with the 427 aluminum blocked engine. It is a double Copo. The double Copo, of course, being the larger wheels, the 140 mile an hour speedometer, and a larger front sway bar.
It's funny how Copo and double Copo, now Yenko, Ryan, are back in the forefront of the news with what happened in January with the Gold Pilot.
Oh, Matt, let me go show you.
Yeah, and I'm noticing, Ryan, that it joins a lineup of other L72 69 Yenkos, so it definitely wasn't a spur-of-the-moment purchase.
No, Matt, it wasn't. By the purchase of this car, I too have now completed the 6-pack of 69 Yenko Camaros. So Matt, when people refer to a 6-pack of Yenko Camaros, they're referring to the 6 different colors that Yenko offered of the 69 Yenko Camaros. Those 6 colors were Hugger Orange, Le Mans Blue, Daytona Yellow, Olympic Gold, Rally Green, and Fathom Green.
Now, I'm seeing 2 are missing. Are those off-site?
Yes, sir. They are currently off-site, both undergoing concourse level restorations.
I can't wait to see that set all put back together, Ryan. I think it's the closest we'll be to getting back into that Cannonsburg dealership and seeing these cars when it was new. And of course, this one wasn't the only gold car of the 201. It was one of 10. But what does have it stand out is the fact that it really was at the forefront, being the Pilot, the Prototype, or the media car.
Whether you call it the prototype, the test car, the press car, whatever you so choose. This car stands out because this was the car that was used by Superstock and Drag Illustrated magazine. It really put Yenko Chevrolet on a national scale with that run, and that's why it's so popular.
Yeah, and that prototype term that's been thrown out too, I think also connects to the unique badge placement. It wasn't like this was a development mule for the Copo program, but I think it definitely was something where Don Yenko was trying to get this car at the forefront of his customers in the media. And one of the neat things is seeing that different badge placement. We'll probably never know the full reason of why it's unique, but the fact remains is that it is the only one of those 201 with the setup.
And it's for that reason that a lot of the experts in the Camaro community believe this car was selected by Yenko to be the pilot, demo, press car, whatever you want to call it. But this car stood out from the rest for that reason. And Matt, what makes this car so special is that this car is the one that was featured in Superstock and Drag Illustrated magazine. This car was ran for the magazine by Ed Hedrick at an 11.94 in the quarter mile.
And I see his signature.
You see his signature.
Oh man, so cool, Ryan. And you know, now that we're looking at this L72, the 427 iron block, it's just such a neat piece of Camaro history. You go to any brochure from 1969, it's not there. It really was a backdoor program that Don Yenko leveraged, that COPO program that was just used for fleet or commercial applications. Don's the one who figures out that, hey, Chevrolet wants to keep their cars in first place on the track. And even though they're not going to officially build this, we can get them out. And that's, I think, part of the legacy of this particular vehicle.
You are 100% correct, Matt. What you see here was pretty much the setup of how these cars came from Chevrolet. This particular car, about the only modifications that have been made or were made by Yenko is he removed the exhaust manifolds, installed headers, and he removed the smog equipment.
This is how Don Yenko was getting the cars in 1969, you know, phasing out of the previous 2 years of the dealer conversion trend. Chevrolet will honor that COPO request to have the 427 installed on the factory floor, so he's getting completed cars with this powertrain effectively, so his team just does the cosmetic additions and then they get them out the door. I think that's such a fascinating aspect. Such a fitting location for such a historic Camaro. And Ryan, I'm really curious, what was it like when you were on the auction block?
Nerves were a wreck, Matt. You know, I knew these cars had received a ton of attention. I knew they were going to sell for a big number. Obviously, I set a new high watermark with my purchase of this car. It's something I didn't want to do, but in order to own this car, it's something I had to do.
And that high watermark, Ryan, to be clear, you know, with this vehicle being purchased for $1,815,000, that's not a world record for a 1969 Yenko Camaro. That screamed way past that. It's the new benchmark for a Camaro of any year and any caliber. What made you so laser focused on coming home with this?
Well, the history of this car, it's a special car. But again, Matt, when you look around my shop here, I do this for the love of the cars. This was not bought for investment reasons. God willing, I'm gonna have this car for the next 40 years. I will never know if I made a profit, lost money on it. Doesn't matter to me. I enjoy the cars, I love the cars, and that's why they're in here.
It's evident from spending time with you here in your collection that you really are serious about having this be a world-class celebration of the best Camaro performance and also historic Camaros along the way like this one. You see the process all the way through. It's not just buying the completed cars like this when the opportunity comes along. I know that you also are serious about getting them back to their former glory, going through those painstaking restorations and bringing them to top events. And so I applaud your Camaro passion. Why do you enjoy Camaro so much?
So Matt, when I was 16 years old, my first Camaro was a 1994 V6 Hunter Green salvage title Camaro. I had a bright red paint job put on it for 200 bucks. I'll never forget. I think I paid an extra 50 bucks for 2 extra coats of clear coat. I bought Z28 badging for it and I had a Flowmaster exhaust put on it. The thing was junk, but I loved that thing to death. But I always swore if I ever had any money, I was gonna own some of the best Camaros in the world, and here we are.
I gotta ask, you mentioned earlier that it's a work in progress, you're not done.
No, we are not.
What's next for Dudley's Garage?
We're gonna hit the pause button on the Yenkos because with this new high watermark on these specific cars, the numbers are pretty up there. Right now, I've currently got my eyes on a couple of Nicky Camaros. I've got my eye on another 69 ZL1 Camaro as well, so we'll see what happens.
Ryan, thanks for showing me your garage and your incredible group of Camaros.
Matt, happy to have you here. You are welcome anytime.
And it's been great also to answer the burning question that I think everyone has been asking since January. Where did the Gold Yenko Prototype go? It ended up here. When it comes to Camaro collections, this is a knockout, celebrating Camaro performance from over 6 decades of Chevrolet's iconic pony car. And it's the perfect setting to be joined by the Gold Yenko Prototype. And of course, with Dudley's garage not being complete, I'm gonna definitely have to come back.
Come along for even more On the Move as I check in on other special consignments and the places they go after they leave the Mecum auction block.